Hello and welcome back to Wealth is a Decision blog. I'm so thankful and grateful that you're here to join us. I have Yanni back with me in the studio, and Yanni's going to continue sharing all the valuable knowledge and experience he's got with learning to use affirmations the right way, because affirmations will change your reality. And what we're trying to do here at Wealth of the Decision is to give you all the tools, the truth, the wisdom, and the knowledge to help you recreate your reality structure, because wealth is not just making money, but it's learning how to make it, how to keep it, and what's holding you back. Most of all, many times things are holding you back, and that's why Yanni has found what is holding people back. Thank you, Yanni, for coming again.
Yeah, thank you for having me again, and thank you for being with us, and thank you for following us, because it's important for both me and for Judy to share these things with you, because I know how difficult it was for me when things doesn't work. Because when I did the things, and I honestly believed I did the right stuff, and it just didn't seem to work. What, not seem to work? It didn't work.
Didn't
I
work.
did not get the results that I really wanted to.
And it was no fault of your own. It's just something that happened in life somewhere.
I honestly did the things that people told me, and I didn't follow just any people. I was really selective in the people that I followed. But in this whole process, I couldn't find someone who could explain to me really how the stuff works. And eventually I did find someone, and that's why I'm sharing these things with you, because it really helped me. And as you see and understand how these things fit together, because it's not just one thing. Oh, I just have to understand this, or yeah, I must just get this, or I must just do.
Right, it's more than that.
Do this affirmation, do it 9,000 times every day. It's going to work. No, it's not. If it's not constructed in a specific way, it's not going to work.
Right. And I must say, I've known Yanni for many years, and he is a positive person, and he does speak positively, and he's very careful with his words. But that was not the factor that prevented him from being
Yeah.
instrumental in having success come to him.
Yeah.
But whereas and later on we're going to discuss the vision board aspect of this too. So go ahead, Yanni, and
Yeah.
please share with us.
Yep, sure. Now, just to recap briefly, in the previous session, I shared the 6 steps with you, that it's really one building on top of each other until we get to the final step, how we use these different areas of your life, the 3 different areas, your professional life, or your vocation where you work, then your family and your social life, and then your personal life. So how we use these 3 main areas or categories, and then inside those 3 categories, the areas that really need to be changed in order for you to achieve the things that you want to achieve. So in this episode, I'm sharing more on the first 2 steps, and really how to start looking at these different areas to change your reality structure, so that your default, so to speak, is changed, and so that you can move forward in life. And I'm really convinced if it can work for me, it'll work for you as well, because it's not just do this, just speak positive and the things are going to happen. I'm explaining to you, especially in the next podcast, I'm going to specifically share the 3 elements and the 3 areas which is so vital, which is your what you speak, and your what you envision, your imagination, what you see, and then the third one is your emotions. When those 3 come together in the correct way, that's when the results start coming.
Right? Because somewhere people miss the emotion part.
Yes, yes. And people think it's only about words.
Words.
And words is really, it's the lowest sense of helping you to get the things done. And that's where most people and most speakers, that's where most of them focus on. They say, just do these things, step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever. And that's not what I'm giving you. I don't give you just a 6-step thing. I'm really sharing with you how this whole thing fits together psychologically even. And I'm not a psychologist, but how it fits together and how you can use it to your advantage.
Because the emotions is what stimulates us.
Yes.
Because we are people have emotions, and emotions is what drive us to do things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so as we said, step 1 is really to identify some areas in which you can recognize that you have some potential that you are not fully using. Now, like I mentioned in the previous episode, is that today we're going to give you some homework. So this is just really brief. So, and we keep it brief so that you can move on to the practical. Now, on the same page, if you follow this on the website, you'll get the information right here. If you're watching this video somewhere else, just look in the description below, and we'll give you the link to the web page so that you can go and get this information. There's a file that you can download, and where you can see exactly what we're talking about. Now, I don't want you to go there now and go and do it. First, listen to me, because your attention is going to be distracted. So please don't go there now. Listen to me. Leave those things for later. You can download it later. You can print it later. You can do whatever. And then what I'm giving you here is, in these 3 areas, I'm giving you a few memory joggers, or certain areas that you can select from. But this is really just a list where you can select from. But if there's anything else that comes up that you rather want to use, or that you realize this is really something that you need to work on, that you want to work on or change, then use that. Now, in these 3 areas or categories, I advise that you use 5, or choose 5 in each one of these areas.
Like subcategories.
Yeah, or 5 points in these categories, in the professional, in the family, social,
vocational,
and in the personal. I'll give you some examples just now, and then you go these things, and then you write down what I will share with you, exactly how you sort of pull these things apart. And it's going to take a bit of effort, and write it down. Please write it. Get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and write it down. Don't just type it on your computer, or just type it into your smartphone. You can do that later, but now write it on paper. If you don't want to download the files, you can view it on screen, but write it down. There's something that happens when you write this down. So use that pen and the paper. Use it to your advantage. Okay, just a few pointers here. So if you have that vocation, for example, or the profession, then write these things down. If you, for example, if you are a student, just see that as your profession at this time. Because remember, we want to change, and you want to change where you currently are to where you want to go to. So if you're a student, see that as that's your profession right now. And whatever you do now, whatever you want to change, if you're in a job and there's something there that you want to change, or you want to have your own business, then use those areas. Now, just a few pointers here, or a few examples of the vocational and the professional arena is your organization or your use of time. If that's an issue for you and you want to enhance that, you want to change that to your advantage, then use this to and write that down. And so you want to expand on this. A few other ones, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to give you a few examples here. Communication of ideas. If you have difficulty communicating your ideas to others, so then you can use that. Your attitude toward routine activities, perseverance or follow through. So those are just examples in the vocational and professional arena. In the family and social, spending time with your family, for example, if that's an area that you really need to work on, then use that. If you're working too much or you've got a lot of other stuff that you're doing, spend too much time doing sports or other activities, and this is an area that you need to work on, then you use that. You focus on that. Accepting and encouraging your mate's individuality and interest. For some people, that's an issue. So if that is for you, then you use that area to announce.
So in other words, you're saying whatever place they're having an issue in life is, that's where they choose to focus their attention and find the things that they need to take out and what they need to put in.
Yeah, and use that on a scale, for example, and that we'll get to it at a later stage. How this reality structure has is formed in our lives. This default that we talked about, that we always default towards, and so really what we want to do here is to use this area that you identify, and for that to work positively to your advantage.
Right, because the default pulls you back to the place where you don't want to be.
The default can pull you back, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Interest in your children's activities or helping your children build self-esteem. So, and then personal, feeling and showing enthusiasm. Now, I think I might have mentioned this in the previous podcast where I sort of kept back over the last time. I'm a positive person, and bubbly, I think, and but over the last 2 years or so, I really started suppressing my emotions. I didn't show the emotions and stuff like that. You became serious and all that, and that became an issue for me. So I had to change that. Your health, calmness, flexibility, concentration, your memory, things like that. Now, from each of these areas, like I said, choose 5, and then the next step is to grade these. Now, by grading, I mean go and on a scale from 1 to 5, go and grade it how important this area is for you to change. If it's not that important, you can put a 1. So then you don't have to focus that much on it. But if it's very important, you grade it a number 5, because then I really have to.
Your career depends on it, or your life depends on it.
My life really depends on that.
Right.
Now, this is very important, what I'm going to share with you now, because you can really change these things so that you can really live a happier life, a really fulfilling life, and that's important. So your constructive imagination will only work within the framework of your potential, and in those areas in which you perceive a possible change to be in your self-interest. So use those areas that you know and that you believe will benefit you to live a fulfilling life, to live happier, and to have the joy in you that you really want. And then this method will also not set aside the laws of the universe, because there are certain laws that are programmed in nature, and you cannot override those things. So although you will really see lots of progress in these areas, you cannot, let's say, can I use an example of, say, fear? I've got fear of heights. You can't overcome that fear and say, okay, now I'm going to stand on a tall building and I'm going to jump and nothing's going to happen to me. There are laws in nature that's going to kick in if you do that. So that's what I mean by that. And just know that this method here, it'll work for you, and it's worked for many, many, many thousands of people. I cannot say I've seen it working through me in many thousands of people yet, but I know of many people that benefited from this, and I am really an example of that.
This is amazing stuff that Yanni is sharing with us, because this is something that is transforming people's lives. You do have to take some serious time to think about these areas in your life. And sometimes you really have to monitor yourself to find out where your behavior is, whether it's in here or there, whether it's outside or talking to people or on the phone or with your coworkers. You really have to sort of analyze your own behavior. So I really appreciate you digging into it, because it's going to be to your benefit to create the future you want. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Yanni.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just a last word here. Please go to the download links, look at these documents, and go and do the homework.
Yes.
If you cooperate and you do the things, then we can move on, because in the next episode, we really going to look more in depth why these different areas, why it can work for you, and how to expand even further and deeper on these things that you write down today. So thank you so much, Jude, and we'll see you in the next episode.
episode.
Thank you.